So, welcome to our special edition. This is a very special edition of what we would call a Meet Money because we are diving in to the founder's opportunity. Okay. And what does that mean? And then we also have a special guest speaker, one of your very own from Australia, who's going to come and share why she's already said yes to this opportunity. So that's really exciting. I'm Kat Gertson. I am a legacy founder and I am also an emerging founder in for North America. So I do have a pretty good idea how to speak about the founder's opportunity. You're also going to hear from my better half, my sister, Larissa, who is also a founder today as well. So I'm going to kind of jump into you guys a little bit with you guys about the founder story, my founder story, but it's also going to probably answer some questions that you might have about this opportunity, this founder opportunity. So I joined with Monat on August 1st of 2015. And first things first, I really want to explain that you're basically joining a completely different company than Larissa and I joined. Okay, our founder opportunity was very unknown. It was very like, what is this thing? I remember them saying, my upline saying, okay, so you're going to get 1%, you're going to get a share of 1% of commissionable volume done globally. That was our original founder shares. And I'm like, okay, you guys have to remember at this point, our company had just hit 25 million. Okay. Like we had 11 products. Okay. So we weren't like really like, we were, I mean, I felt like, we were kicking butt and taking names, but it was nowhere near what it is now. For example, we launched the same amount of products at Monations this year than we started Monate with when we joined. Okay. Another part is that I remember looking at it and being like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We had one conditioner. Okay. We had one conditioner to choose from, you guys. Okay. Now you're sitting here with a founder opportunity of $1 billion brand. Well, over $1 billion brand now, right? It's really, and if anyone's kind of hesitant on what this is, I'm like, it's really a no-brainer because the best indication of the future is what's already happened in the past, right? And so we go and we become the number one luxury hair care brand in every single country that we launch. So it's only going to be what happens in Australia as well. All right. But I remember sitting here thinking, okay, so I was like, okay, founder. So this is from everyone, right? This is, you're going to get shares from everyone. And I said, wow, that's pretty freaking cool. Never before in my life has my competition become also a business partner, right? So really, when you become a founder, the state of Monat becomes a lot more important to you. How the company is doing overall becomes a lot more important to you than just your own little sphere of business, right? So really thinking about that. But I'm going to share with you quickly here a little bit about what founders actually really means in the most compliantly legal way I can. Okay. But I can tell you a few things that our founder shares over the course of what is now. I got my very first founder share payout was in for the month of December 2015. Okay. And since that month, we've paid out every single quarter. Okay. They have been paid out. And I can tell you that they have increased by 2,500% since that day. Okay. That's a very good investment. Okay. So if you're ever looking at investments, you're just really, really happy to make 10% year over year. Right? Like anybody, if you make 10% and you go talk to your investment person and you guys are high-fiving after that meeting, like you're like, woo, woo, right? So really thinking about it like that, but really also, have you ever had an investment where you actually have control in the outcome? Right? That's what I saw right? I saw something that, you know what, I had control in the outcome. I mean, I have absolutely no control in how precious metals are going to end at the end of the quarter, right? I have zero control in that. I don't even know how I would get into having control of that, right? But I do have control in how Monat is going to finish at an end of a quarter, right? That is a really, really exciting part to me. So we went in and you're going to want to set these kind of like sites there, because number one thing I'm going to tell you about these founder shares is that they're going to exceed your expectations. So don't even try to place an expectation on them. The other thing I'm going to tell you, because again, like I said before, the best indicator of the future is the past. And if you or someone you know don't say yes to it, they're going to regret it. And I'm just going to put it there for you guys right then and there. Right? They will regret not giving themselves and throwing their hat in the ring for it. And that I know that might sound a little bit harsh, but it's a guarantee. Okay, we're not sitting in Monat 2015 or Monat 2014 anymore, right? I was talking with a girl last night and I was like, girl, it's okay if you don't want to join, because guess what? Someone is going to join who is going to sell it to all of your friends. That's just how it's going to be. And they're going to get the founder shares and they're going to have all of that. And I'm sharing that with you because I know that Larissa will say this too, is that like that was the energy that we had when it like comes to founder shares and working this business, right? It's not a matter of if someone's going to be working this business. It's just a matter of who. It's a matter of who's going to grab it, run with it, and not quit. Founder shares also don't just happen because you really want them, right? Founder shares happen, like you get that quarterly payout because you are essentially taking a stake in the company. You're making it a very important part of your life, right? And Monat is compensating you for that. Now we're in a position with founder shares that, our founder shares are what, 6 years later, are what we live off of. Our paychecks are just like there, right? Not just there, you guys, we're still super grateful for them, but like they're the thing that used to be the founders was what went into savings. Now it's like the paychecks go into the savings and that's how we rock and roll with it. So founder shares are something that you have an entire year from when, you'll basically have until the end of November next year to earn them. Okay. So this is a marathon. Do you know how many people when we joined, and Larissa will know about this because she had another founder story, right? Whereas I got my shares in 3 months. And so it just kind of made sense, like, boom. But do you know how many people quit on themselves 4 months in when they had a full 12 months to get them? Right. But I'm not gonna share on anybody else's story. I could just share on mine where I was just like, hey, I have to share this opportunity. That was something that was so important to us in the end of September. We were enrolling like crazy so that every single person had this opportunity to get those founder shares, right? It was like, go, 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 freaking go again. So I'm going to introduce someone who has their hat already in the ring to get those founder shares. All right. And so she's coming all the way. Well, I shouldn't say most of you, she's a lot closer to you than me and Larissa are, and Christina. I'm going to say she's coming all the way here from Australia. If you want to unmute yourself, Shenee.
Hi, can you hear me okay with the headphones, or do I need to unplug? Or we're good? We're good? Okay. Yeah, so I spoke to Tam this afternoon and I'm totally just going to wing it. I'm not prepared whatsoever, but this is my story, I guess. So I had a bit of a think about it, and I've been getting it wrong this last couple of months. I've been using Monat since October 2017. I was thinking it was the year later, but so it's been 4 years now, 4 years that I've been using it. I guess I should introduce myself. For those who don't know me, I live in Brisbane. My name's Shenee. I'm a mum to 5-year-old twins. I'm a stay-at-home mum. I don't have a job. I haven't had a job since the end of 2015 because then I fell pregnant and then twins. So yeah, that's life for me. And then like just as I had my babies, my best friend moved over to Canada and left me to do this on my own, kind of, not really. But we kept in contact a lot, like, you know, as you do. And she hit me up at some point about this amazing hair stuff that she was onto, and I just sort of went, yeah, right. Like, I think most of the people on here were probably the same anyway. She's like, yeah, what else am I going to do? I'm drowning with babies. So, yeah, just, you know, give it to me. Let me do it. Because, like, my hair, the best my hair has ever been in my life is right now, but also when I was pregnant with the twins. Like, it was never more thick and full, and, like, I would wear it out. Like, I am a mum bun. That's just how I do it. But, yeah, prior to that, like when I was pregnant, it was out all the time, and it was because it was so thick and full, and that's what it's like now. But it's just time constraints for me at the moment. But school next year, hooray! So I have a bit of time up my sleeve, so it's actually a little bit perfect that these products that I've been using now for 4 years here, I don't have to smuggle them. I don't have to do my order online from the flash sale and then wait 2 months for it to come. Like, it's a couple of days. Like, it's awesome. So I'm really excited about that. I was hesitant to say this at first, but I will share it because I know a lot of people will come across it. I actually did have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Monat at first, and Pepper can probably remember. I did have a bit of issues, but it just took, we talked a lot about it. We looked at what I was using. We changed a lot of products. It ended up being a few months later, we went over to Canada to visit these guys, and she gave me a few different things. And once I switched over to, I guess, the right products for what I needed at the time, it pretty much cleared up the problem straight away, and it was perfect since then. So you will have those weird people like me that will be a little bit test your boundaries, but you just got to just play. I mean, even ask me if you get these issues that it's just so random and you have no idea. Just let me know, or let Pepper know, because it was a bit of a battle, but we got there in the end, and I haven't looked back, and I haven't used any other products since. So so we've just been going on for the last how many years, waiting for it to come here, and it's here finally. And I think the timing's pretty good. Like, for the last 5 years, they just turned 5. I've just been a mum. Like, I've just been doing the twin mum thing and just really nothing for myself. I mean, a little bit of crafty stuff, like, because I'm into my craft, but it's very rare that I get to do that. And usually it would be after they've gone to bed at night time. And by then I'm just like, no, I'm done. I can't even deal. So the fact that they're starting school next year, so I'm going to have 5 days a week of me time, it's sort of made me sort of start thinking this year, like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do for me now? Because I'm going to have time for me and not these little people. That's the teacher's problem, not my problem. And so it is perfect timing. Like, I don't even know. I don't know what to say. Like, so I've been using them for 4 years. I've never used any other hair care products now. Like, that's just it. It's just exclusive for me. And I'm happy to tell everybody about what I'm using and why I'm using it. And it's not just me now. Like, I started with it, but the kids started on it. We got the junior range for them. They were little baldies, being little premies and everything. And I don't know if anyone's seen the before and afters, but it was only the first 5 or 6 months. Like, their hair came in like quite thick and full, and then they both had their first haircut just before their second birthday, because that's how bald they were. They were 1.5 when we started on it, and then got my husband onto it. He's just on the black 2-in-1. And what does he say, Pep? The Bobo says the same thing. Squeaky clean. Love that squeaky clean feel that we get. So that's in our house now. Like that's all we have. Even in the guest bathroom, like that's Monat's in the shower. So you're here and you're going to stay at my house. That's what you're washing your hair with. So I guess to join as a market partner, I'm a bit of a just fake it till you make it kind of thing. Like, but at the same time, a lot of people I've talked to, I know a lot of people that are in other like direct marketing industry companies, and I am that person. When they would have parties, they would all approach me and they would all be like, you would be amazing, you'd be, you know, to be a consultant, or, you know, to sell our products and host these parties. And it just wasn't me. Like it's never for me, I think, because I was always that person sort of hiding back a little bit. They would just sort of try and pounce on me, but I was always, yeah, no, not for me, not for me. But this is just totally different. And it's like, yeah, I get like it's going to be hard initially for everybody, because you're trying to get people to use something different. So I'm sort of all about my samples, and I've actually given a few samples out to a few people in the last couple of weeks who I was expecting no's from, but they're texting me every day now saying, when can I sign up now to buy as a VIP? So I've got a good amount of people that are pretty keen. So which has surprised me, because I was giving it to the people that I thought would be the skeptics, that would just be like, no. So it's going to be a really good thing here. And to all those people that I've asked and have said no, sorry. Have a chat in a couple of months, and you know, we'll see where you're at. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think it's, yeah.
Thank you so much. And I love that. It's like, make sure you remind them that they said no in this next 6 days, and be like, you can change your mind. Cause like it's and I'm going to tell you guys, when like Founders is gone, it's gone. It's not like
that's what I said.
Right? It's not like
I said, and if you say no, I'm asking you now, and this is me asking you, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. Right? Because it's not like a flash sale where they're going to be like, oh, it's extended or whatever, right? Like Founders is gone, it's gone, and there's no coming back to it. Right? So there should be an insane sense of FOMO, and I would revisit every single person that you've talked to, because I mean, they probably never thought that Australia would already have 2,000 market partners in it. You guys kicked Canada's butt in your pre-launch, and you had like 1 month less than us. Like, what the heck, right? But that's a really big thing. But we're going to kind of shift over here to my partner in crime. If you've been on these calls in the last, like, what has it been? Almost 8 weeks now we've been doing these. She's my better half on these calls. It's my sister. She's going to share with you guys her kind of founder story. Go away with it, Rissa.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm so excited to talk about this, because this is something that I'm so passionate about, because it is something that is a once in a lifetime thing that is happening. And I want you to put it in a perspective of, and this is coming from Senior Louise. So I don't know if you guys know the guy who started the company. His name is Senior Louise. He came from being a Tupperware rep. And he kind of just says, like, my goal is to have it so Monat is a household name that everyone knows, just like Tupperware, right? So, and we are inching our way up there. We are the #1 selling shampoo brand in North America. So we're getting there, guys. So that's the key, is like, think about, like, even watching a movie, people don't call it like a plastic container. They call it Tupperware, right? So that's the thing, that when you think about a brand, what do they represent? What do they do? You want it so, like, you know, you're talking about anything and they're like, oh, you mean Monat, right? That's what the first thing they think of. But put that into perspective now of what that company is making and what you're going to be making 1% of. So you think about Tupperware, think about Mary Kay, think about all these brands that have been around for so long. And there's people out there making profit shares on that. So in a big perspective of things, for those of you who maybe are just joining today or whatever, founders pool is you're making 1% on what the company commission volume is making, like Katrina said. So put that in perspective, like, and don't think about this month, just this month. Like, don't try to put it into a number right now, because like Katrina said, you're never going to reach that number. I personally, so I have a picture that Katrina gave me, and it's so cool. And it's a picture of the stars the night that I hit for the first time and got my founder share. And it's super, super cool. And I always, every quarter when, we're getting our checks, I always look at it and I'm like so grateful, because that was literally a day that, I know it sounds corny, I know it sounds weird, but it changed my life, but I didn't even know it yet. I was like working a corporate job and I was just like, oh yeah, this little shampoo biz on the side, thinking like no one really will care if I get founder shares or whatever, like whatever. And it was never such like and it was never been like, oh yeah, talk about it, because it wasn't something that people could get. So you kind of felt like stupid talking about it, right? And that's why when this came about, whenever a new country is here, we're always like founders, because we can see the potential it's going to be. And that's the biggest thing too. You guys have the full Asia Pacific, right? So it's not just Australia. You guys are going to be getting it on all of the Asia Pacific. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in that area from what I've seen on the map. There's a couple of countries in there that are quite large. And there will be a couple people there that are going to buy some shampoo and skincare and soon to be wellness. And that's the thing too, is like you guys are starting with a variety of things, right? And we always go back to hair care because that's how our brand started. That's our, bread and butter of this. And it is what made the world kind of stop and take a look at Monat and being like, anti-aging hair care. Part of me never heard of that before. So you think about that, it's a brand that's doing something different and it's expanding globally. What else can you ask for? Really? As long as you like what they're doing. I don't know, anti-aging, I don't know who doesn't want to look a little bit younger. I'm pretty sure everyone, but it's one of those things where no one thought about anti-aging hair care till Monat came along. So why wouldn't you want to be a part of a company that's doing something different and seeing results with it? Like Katrina said, when we started, we kind of just like threw our name in the hat and was like, oh, well, hopefully something comes about it. And we were so grateful no matter what. We were like, if our paychecks were, $500, we were like, wow, that is amazing. That is $500 that, I just was able to put aside and make into something bigger. And that's the thing, that we didn't see the potential. And yeah, I remember getting that first check, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it was around $500. It was more than that, and I was just like, wow, that's crazy. Because I know at my job personally, I got an increase, whatever, not even cost of living, whatever that was. Now it's like 5%, I think now, but it was at the point 3.2%. And that percentage there, I don't even think that worked out to $500 a year. And now I'm looking at that quarterly being like, I'm getting handed a bonus that I just started working with this company for whatever, 11 months. They're giving me a bonus every quarter. My job that I've been working at for 8 years it gives me like what, 1% increase every year. And that's nothing compared to what it is now, right? But it's one of those things where you have to really stop and think like, what if, and what if in 5 years, what is that check going to be? And it's not going to ever stop either. That's the thing. This is a lifetime thing. As long as you maintain your commitment to Monat, then you're also going to be receiving this. That's the biggest thing too. There's not like an end date where this is going away. And I think that's the coolest thing, because you can look at it, even being with the company for whatever, 6 years or whatever we are. Yeah, 6 years. You look at it and you're like, wow, this is just the beginning. Like, this is crazy. We have so many other things that they have in our like product map of launching coming that are going to be also, revolutionary. And they never do things easy or basic. They're like, no, we are Monat. And that's what I love about it too. It's like, there's no one else that's paving the way like we are. So the one thing I wanted to kind of say is don't take this lightly. Even I took it lightly, and I am so thankful that I kind of, got to the point where I did and was able to achieve those founder shares. But there is so many people being like, oh, whatever, they're probably not even going to be a big deal anyways. Take that out of your mind, because that is like you saying no to just hard work and whatever else. And that's something that you're going to kick yourself in the butt, because I can guarantee you, a lot of people who still are with Monat and people who are not with Monat that are kicking their butt because they didn't give it a shot to actually do this thing. And there's one more thing I was going to say. Oh, okay. So this is the thing. And I know that it doesn't make me mad, but it makes me like, stop talking sort of thing when people say this to me. They always say, you're so lucky that you have these founder shares. You're so lucky. If there's two words that I would love to replace with something else, it would be so lucky. And it's always the way they say it to you, like, you're just so lucky that you get those. It's like, no, shut your mouth. That is not what it is. This is something that I took a chance on for number one, like any other investment. And I worked hard to get. So, and I still have to keep working hard to get every quarter. It's not about luck. And that's the one thing I want you guys to know too. It's not that you're lucky because you get these shares. You worked hard for them. And you put this time and effort into it all. So you get to actually reap the benefits of it. So I think we're going to open up for questions here just to make sure that everyone is clear and concise on what's happening. There is one in here. I'll just read it quickly here. You need to hit MM to earn the founder shares, but what happens if you dip below the rank, say a couple months later? Do you have to maintain it every month? Great question, Sarah. Awesome question. So basically how it works is you hit MM every last month of the quarter. You also have to hit MM to maintain that founder share opportunity. And then it's not every month, it's the last month of every quarter. So, and the thing is, okay, so worst case scenario, you don't hit MM on that last month of the quarter. All it means is you don't get your founder share for that quarter. Okay. So it's not like you're kicked out or whatever else too. The only time is if your rank, so maybe this is too technical, but with Monat, you have to, if you hit a rank, you have to hit it again in that year to maintain that rank. So basically, if you did not maintain your rank throughout that year, that's when that would kind of disappear. And I don't want to talk too much in it because it's not going to happen for anyone. If you hit MM, you're going to hit it for the rest of your life, guaranteed. Hey, girl. So that is a great question. If you want more clarification on that, we can definitely go into it. But does anyone else have any other questions or just comments or excited?
Something I want to add quickly here to this is that an understanding. So a good friend of mine in Monat, her name was Roxy Henley. Okay. And she was a founder with Monat, and Roxy, she didn't wake up from a nap one day. Okay. So she laid down to take an afternoon nap and didn't wake up. It was really, really tragic. Like, she was a good friend to all of us, but I can't imagine, as thinking about it now, looking as if Roxy is able to look down on her family right now, because guess what? Her founder opportunity went to her husband and her daughter, right? It's a willable asset that you have, right? And just like, I think about it now because I know what that pay is like, and I know what she built her business to be able to step away and leave. Like, people will literally spend money every single week on a lottery that would pay them out like, X number of dollars every single month and that kind of thing, right? But there's this opportunity here that rather than paying for a ticket every month, like, or week or whatever. I've never bought the lottery ticket, so I don't really know how they work. But I see people buying them, and apparently people do, right? This isn't a lottery ticket, but this is something that you can go and stamp in and put as like something for your family's future as a single mom, to know that if something were to ever happen to me, that my daughter will be just fine. Right? My daughter will be just fine. Auntie Rissa might have a few more dollars to have to manage on Perry's behalf for a little while, but she will be just fine, right? That I can go and live with there on that part. But I really think that's an important thing to make known, is that, you know, this is like a big deal here. Also, another thing is I'm looking at it as though you guys get the, you know, the shares. I do have a feeling that the reason you guys get more shares than normal is because every time, let's say we launch into New Zealand or we launch into Nepal or these, they'll have an opportunity for one share. Okay. That's how it worked in the US. Those guys, they got 2 shares. In Canada, we got 1, right? With that, when they expanded into North America with that. So kind of looking at it like that. But yeah, like Rissa said, if there's any questions, like nothing's off the table. So ask anything you want. Okay, well, I can't stress enough to you guys that this is the time, this is the moment where you are literally asking everyone, because I would rather, and I'm, as hindsight being like, you know, 2020, I'm speaking for you here because I just know that this is, you would rather them be freaking annoyed of you right now than them be annoyed of you a year from now when they're in your business and you didn't push. There are people on our team. So think about it this way. For our legacy shares from when we joined, it started off with about 170 people in it. There are now 86 people who are shareholders. Okay. 86, you guys. Okay. Do you know there's probably a lot of people who are like mad at someone who, you know, I can just imagine. I'm looking at Christina on here where her upline didn't join until the day after founder shares were over, you guys. Right? Like I want you to think about this, because you're looking at Christina, she's here in Canada. Okay. You're looking at her right now, and all due to the fact that her upline didn't reach out one more time. She never got the crack at it. Think about that, you guys. Think about that. How much better would you just know that they said no, that you didn't not ask them, and that you didn't stress not sharing it with their network? Dig into your teams. Anyone who said yes to, they need to ask their people. They need to. Okay, because the people are going to join. I'm going to tell you, I have a list of over 300 people that they can't say crap to me because I offered it to them. Right? It's not my fault. Only 15 of them said yes. So think about that. Over 300 people and 15 said yes. Right? Think about that. Who the heck gives a crap about the other 300 plus people who said no? I did not care. Okay. It was all about covering my ass in the future. So they could not give me crap that I didn't offer it to them. Right. So I'm not joking. There was lady at the gas station, because I'm like, I just need to make sure everyone's covered. I need to make sure. I don't know, Rissa, if you want to close us out with your final tip for founders part, or people to see, like, let's go.
Yeah. And it's basically like, we can't stress it enough. And you guys, I think you guys kind of get the feeling that you're like, okay, yeah, this is important. I should listen and I should tell, and I should speak. And I like how Katrina said that, like, it's not just telling, like, you know, your closest family and friends, it's telling everyone. And this is like, speak it, because they're going to realize when you're, and I don't want to be like a thing where it's like, haha, I told you so, because that's never a good feeling either. But just think about if you could just get one more person to say yes, and they have that opportunity to do this. Like, that is what I want you to kind of put in that mindset. Not like, haha, I told you so, that's going to be huge. More, it's like, if I could talk to one more person and they could potentially say yes, then you've done your due diligence, right? So think about everyone. Like, this is, yeah, I hope you guys are excited as we are. I know it's hard to believe, like, something you can't see, but believe me when I say it's going to be huge. And I'm so excited for you guys. The one thing I did want to mention too, basically every time we launch a new country, this happens. So I want you guys to also think about the potential of the countries that we will be launching after this. And so there is potential for, people who the founder pool has closed in their country. There is potential when other countries launch it, you can also get shares in that country. So I didn't want to leave that part out. So it's not just, this, it's also the other, sections that we'll be launching into. You guys will have that opportunity as well. And just to give you a brief example, so anyone in Canada, if we help someone achieve in Australia and you are here, you get another share. So I want you guys to also think about that too. It's not just about right now, it's about what the company will do in the future as well. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, go ahead.
I've signed up as market partner, so very excited because I didn't want to miss this opportunity either. When do you have to sign up by to be able to be in the go for our founders share, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be the last day of the month, this month.
All right. So
yes. Yeah. And that's why we speak with such urgency on it, because we're like, no, it's coming up.
Like November 1st, it's not there anymore.
Ooh, it's disappeared. Yes.
I don't know exactly what the time is in Australia for you guys. Tanya, if you could tell exactly that.
Yeah. So 2 shares. If you want 2 shares, you've got to join by 31st of October. And then there's 1 share available from 1st of November for the first 12 months.
Yeah.
We can double it.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
And honestly, you'll be like, it's a pretty big deal. Melinda's asking, so when to explain a little bit more on the how you get other countries ones, right? Yeah. So how this works. So think about this. When we launched into the UK, because Monat does not go and buy leaders. A lot of companies will step into a new market and they will go and headhunt leaders from other companies and say, hey, we'll pay you this much for your first year. You work this company and then you bring people in, all this kind of stuff. But Monat's we don't pay leaders. They don't headhunt and take top leaders from other companies and say, hey, come here, right? So instead what they do is they're like, hey, when we launched in the UK, for example, hey, Canadians, Americans, we're launching in the UK, you go find someone, help them hit get their founder shares, we'll also give you a share. Okay, so that's how it works. So when you guys, think about this, when you guys go and are launching into, let's say, New Zealand, which I know is just around the corner. Okay, you bring someone in from New Zealand, right? However that works. I don't know, obviously I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know exactly how that's going to work in the Asia Pacifics and stuff like that. But that's kind of how so if we think about it in okay, let's say Africa, for example. Okay, let's say we launch somewhere in let's say Zimbabwe. We launch and we're going there and we're in South Africa and you have a friend in Zimbabwe and you're like, hey girl, you got to do this, right? And they have African profit shares, founder shares on the table. You help your friend in Zimbabwe and you'll also get African profit shares, right? So really think about that part in that sense there too, because money never, ever pays people to just be there, right? There's always an action step in there that is obviously for the better good of the company and the people in that. So I hope that makes it clear, where it's that's how we kind of launch countries, instead of headhunting, going and finding 10 people from Arbonne and taking them and having them build Australia, right? Which I quite like a lot better, right? Because there's an authenticity in that as well, right? For example, Canada was built, with the exception of one person, Canada was built on people who'd never done network marketing before, right? That's what makes Monat so special, right? With that, but just so that you guys do know, okay, so Monday, obviously 3 a.m. Monday next week is not in October anymore. Okay, it will be over, that part will be done. So we're changing it to Sunday, 3 a.m. our time, which will still be, so we're going to do a final opportunity call. So on that, I think that still lines into month end. Tanya, if it doesn't, let us know, but we just want to get those final ones in there. but I really do suggest that all of you are like planning these kind of things too, like every day, if not every second day kind of thing, to be sharing this with people, right? And driving them into the opportunity. And what about people who sign up as an MP in a country that has already launched, like the UK, now in pre-launch? Yes, it will go towards your Smart Start. Every single, so like anyone that it all like that will all, it doesn't, we don't have, think about it this way. Monat does not have borders. Okay, so customers from the UK, customers from Canada, customers from the US, customers from Spain, like all the different things, right? Lithuania, they do not have borders. So that will all go towards your Smart Start when we launch. Yes, and 12 months to hit. Like, I mean, you're looking at, there's 2 people on this call. I did it in 3 months, Larissa did it in 11. Okay, I'm going to tell you what Larissa did was harder. Okay, because there's a reason that when she hit, what was it, you and one other person, Larissa, closed it in that 11th month? Because guess what happens, you guys? So many people quit. Right? They believe that it's not possible for them. They're like, oh no, right? Like that's not going to ever happen. There were 600 people in Canada that were eligible to do it. Right? And in total, there's 11. Because people quit. Don't quit. Right? Do not quit. Do not get down on yourself. If you do get down, there was a girl I was talking to the other day and I said, don't pull out of the community, lean into the community. Right? When you get down, when you've been told, believe me, you're going to get told no. And if you're not getting told no, you're not talking to people. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, you got to get told no, guys. I'm just being honest with you. But put your I don't give a crap hat on for 15 minutes every single day and just do it. Right? Because I know when I say, people will be like Larissa said, I want to take the so lucky term out of freaking vocabulary, because people will be like, oh, you're so lucky you joined Monat when you did. I'm like, you're so lucky you didn't. Because you would have quit. You would have got told no 300 times and been like, this isn't going to work for me. And luckily, I think different, right? So you're so lucky you didn't join that, right? Like that's how I'm like, we can turn around on this, right? But get those no's, get those things happening. You got for 6 days before this chapter closes. And then ready, set, go, right? Ready, set, go on that. Yeah. So I hope you guys are all as excited as we are. We're freaking jacked up for you guys. We know it's just the beginning. I know you guys feel like you're well-oiled veterans right now, but just wait. It's just beginning. And it's going to be so flippin' fun. On Wednesday, you guys have a power hour with the corporate Australia team. So there's not going to be an onboarding. Me and Larissa were like, this is probably like a better thing because they're going to be really talking about stuff on there, so that you're going to be going through that there. But we will still have the 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which I believe is like noon or 11 o'clock, depending on where you are in Australia. You can jump on for that one there as well. Yeah, and you'll kind of get a feel for power hours. They're a great way to work your business. They're super awesome. Yeah, and there's going to be tons of stuff, especially once the launch is officially there, that the Australian people are like corporate is going to have a ton of things going on. So be aware that like our schedule will change based off of what's happening there, because we don't ever want to like take you guys away from them because they're doing things different over there. Also, okay, leader luncheon, or I don't know how you say the word, but okay. I don't know how to say luncheon. Not sure, but luncheon, is it?
Luncheon. It's a luncheon.
See?
No, Tanya, it's a luncheon.
Oh, a luncheon.
It's only ladies go to a luncheon.
Okay, but hit Market Builder, everyone, by the end of November, and you're going to be, that's your first Monat thing. That's your first like thing, and you're going to want to be there. Okay. So, yeah, go look at the comp plan, talk to Tanya if she's your director, talk to whoever brought you in and be like, hey, I want to go to the luncheon. I didn't say I know how to pronounce things very well. You'll learn that about Larissa and I. We just go with how it sounds. Phonics is our friend. But with that, you guys have the most amazing, amazing evening. Let's go and run into this month end. Let's go and close so many people who are going to be opening up a chapter to like a really special part of their lives. Okay. Bye, guys.